Coffee Break Spanish, Program 12.
Buenos dias, how you do? We got something for you. A bit of Spanish you can try. It's not hard, now don't you cry. Más cerveza, por favor. Un cafecito, I want more. No haggis here, I hope that's fine. Just a bit of Espanol online. Espanol, you're in control. Just be resilient. One in Spanish is dead brilliant. Just be prepared. Mark and Kara will take you there. Now you're on a roll. It's Coffee Break Español.
Buenos días a todos. Estáis escuchando Coffee Break Spanish y yo soy Mark, el profesor.
Hola, me llamo Cara y soy estudiante de español. I'm learning Spanish just like you.
Welcome to program number 12 of our series, which will equip you with all the Spanish you need to visit Spain or a Spanish-speaking country.
In weekly programs, we're covering the basics of the Spanish language. We're here to help you, and you can learn with a community of learners all across the world.
In the coming weeks, we're going to be looking at cafes, restaurants, shopping and so on, and there is one topic which we need to cover before we start having to pay bills and buy things. That's numbers.
We've already learned up to 10, and today we're going to learn a few more numbers. We'll also look at days, months and seasons of the year.
Let's get straight into the show. ¿Estás lista, Cara?
Sí, estoy lista para aprender español con Coffee Break Spanish.
Coffee Break Español.
Okay, now it has to be said that numbers are probably not the most interesting thing to learn about and indeed to teach about, but we're hopefully going to make things a bit more exciting and a bit more interesting with some music and rhythm like the last time we did some numbers. Let's run through the numbers between 11 to 20 first of all. 11 is once.
11,
12, doce.
12,
13, trece.
13,
14, catorce.
14,
15, quince.
15,
16, dieciséis.
16,
That's actually 10 y 6, 10 and 6. Dieciséis.
16,
17 is 10 and 7. Diecisiete.
17,
18, dieciocho.
18,
19, diecinueve.
19,
And 20, 20.
20.
Vale, pues vamos a repetir los números con ritmo. 11,
11,
12,
12,
13,
13,
14,
14,
15,
15,
16,
16,
17,
17,
18,
18,
19,
19,
20.
20.
Ok, esta vez con música. 11,
11,
12,
12,
13,
13,
14,
14,
15, 16,
16,
17, 18, 19
19,
y 20.
20.
Sorry, I got a bit carried away there. We did try to promise you that learning numbers wouldn't be boring with Coffee Break Spanish. Anyway, we're going to go on now and we're going to learn how to count upwards from 20, number 20. If 17, 18 and so on means 10 and 7, 10 and 8 and so on, then 21 is 20 and 1. 20 y uno.
21.
Just watch the pronunciation of the word 20. It's veinte. 20.
20,
That's it. 20.
20,
20.
20,
So 21.
21,
Because 20 y uno becomes 21.
21,
And then you go on 22.
22,
22.
22,
23.
23,
How would you say 25?
25,
25. What about 28?
28,
28. Muy bien. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. And treinta.
30.
30. Exactly the same thing happens with treinta. It's the A sound followed by the E sound. Treinta.
30.
30. What would 31 be then?
31.
31. 31.
31.
Muy bien. And 32?
32.
30.
30.
32.
32.
32.
32.
Muy bien. And it goes on up until 40.
40.
40.
40.
And 41.
41.
42.
42.
And so on. Then 50.
50.
50.
50.
Or 50 in Latin America. 50. 50.
50. 50.
And that would be 50. Then 60 is 60.
60.
70. 70.
70.
80. 80.
80.
90. 90.
90.
And 100. 100.
100.
Okay. I'm going to give you some numbers here and see if you can work out what they are. 84. Cara?
84.
Muy bien. 75.
75.
Mhm. Ok. 51. Cara?
51.
Muy bien. 33.
33.
Muy bien. Okay, so these numbers are fairly straightforward as long as you can learn 20,
20.
30,
30.
40,
40.
50,
50.
60,
60.
70,
70.
80,
80.
90,
90.
and 100.
100.
Okay, just to mention one other thing about ciento. Ciento starts with CI, and therefore in Spain it's pronounced ciento. But in Latin America it would be pronounced
Ciento.
ciento, ciento. Okay? So we'll stick to Spanish pronunciation for moving on from 100. Ready for some more numbers?
Yes, okay.
Okay, so 101 would be 101.
101.
101.
101.
And 102, 103, and so on. Let's see if you can work out what 115 would be. Cara?
115.
115. And what about 148?
148.
148. That actually brings up quite a good point because in English we say 148. And there might be a tendency, if you thought about it, to say 148. But we know that 48 is 48. So it's 148 in Spanish. 148.
148.
Okay, now 200 in Spanish is quite interesting because 200 is two hundreds, literally. So you don't say 200, but 200.
200.
200, so 222.
222.
Think of this word for 20. 20.
20.
222.
222.
222. Okay, 300 would be
300.
300. 300. Or in Latin America, 300.
300.
Okay. 400.
400.
400. 500.
500.
Now, that's really interesting that you had trouble saying 500. In fact, you're not alone, because in Spain and in the Spanish-speaking world, you don't say 500. It sounds funny, so you say 500.
500.
500.
500.
It's just one of those things, there's no real reason for it. 500.
500.
So we've got ciento, 200, 300, 400, 500. And then it goes on, 600,
600.
and then 700, not 700. And 800,
800.
and another strange one, 900.
900.
900 is not 900, but 900.
900.
Okay, and 1000 is 1000.
1000.
1000.
1000.
So let's try some more numbers here. I'm going to test you on and see how well you do. So to begin with, 324. Cara?
320 y... I forget the number.
324.
Y 4.
324.
324.
20.
20.
20.
20.
20. Muy bien. Okay, we'll try and avoid 20. What about 642?
642.
Muy bien. 642. Try 555.
I can't remember how to pronounce 500.
500 is 500.
500.
500.
555.
Now, a wee bit of revision from our last lesson. How would you say, how do you say 500 in Spanish?
¿Cómo se dice 500 en español?
¿Cómo se dice 500 en español? Bueno, en español 500 se dice 500.
500.
Okay, so no more excuses, no asking how do you say something in English from now on, okay? One last one, and this is going to be a real big one. 1,282.
1282.
1282. Perfecto. 2000 is 2000. 3000, 3000, and so on. It is very straightforward. You really know now all the numbers that you need to know in Spanish, and you can practice them in lots of different ways. Our bonus podcast will help you do just that. Now, there are a few more things that we need to do in this podcast. We need to learn the days of the week, the months of the year, and the seasons of the year as well. Let's start with the days of the week. We'll begin with Monday. Monday is lunes.
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 Okay, Tuesday is martes.
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 Wednesday is miércoles.
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 Thursday is jueves.
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 Friday, viernes.
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 Saturday is sábado.
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 Sunday is domingo.
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 Muy bien. Let's run through them again. Lunes.
Lunes.
Okay. Martes.
Martes.
Miércoles.
Miércoles.
Jueves.
Jueves.
Viernes.
Viernes.
Sábado.
Sábado.
Domingo.
Domingo.
Muy bien. There's not really a lot you can do to remember the days of the week. It's just a case of learning them. And the same with the months of the year. So the months of the year are enero.
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 Febrero.
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 Marzo.
Marzo.
marzo
marzo,
or marzo.
marzo,
Abril,
abril,
abril.
abril,
Mayo,
mayo,
mayo.
mayo,
Junio,
junio,
junio.
junio,
Julio,
julio,
julio.
julio,
Agosto,
agosto,
agosto.
agosto,
Septiembre,
septiembre,
septiembre.
septiembre,
Octubre,
octubre,
octubre.
octubre,
Noviembre,
noviembre,
noviembre.
noviembre,
Diciembre,
diciembre,
diciembre.
diciembre,
Or diciembre in Latin America.
diciembre.
Okay, one thing there about the word for September. In some parts of the Spanish-speaking world, people say septiembre. In other parts, people say septiembre and have a small P sound in the middle. And indeed, it's spelled some cases with the P and in other cases without the P. So it's fairly optional, but you might be better to ask someone in the area where you're most familiar with how they say and how they spell septiembre or September. Finally, the seasons of the year. We are at the moment in invierno.
Invierno,
Well, we certainly are here in Scotland. Invierno is winter. Invierno.
invierno,
Okay, spring is primavera.
primavera,
Primavera.
primavera,
Primavera literally means the first green. So the first green coming in spring after the winter disappears. So primavera.
primavera,
Summer is verano.
verano,
Verano.
verano,
And autumn is otoño.
otoño,
Otoño.
otoño.
Okay. Now, there's one final thing that I'd like to cover before we finish this lesson, and that is to say the date, what date it is. For example, when this is published, it will probably be the 7th of January. That would be el 7 de enero.
El 7 de enero.
Now, note that it's not the 7th in Spain. Instead, it's the 7 of January. El 7 de enero.
El 7 de enero.
So you can also add in the year because you know the year now. It's 2007.
2007.
So the word for today is hoy. Hoy es el 7 de enero de 2007.
Hoy es el 7 de enero. You said de?
De 2007. Exacto. You always have to say, today is the 7th of January of 2007. El 7 de enero de 2007.
El 7 de enero de 2007.
Okay. Mi cumpleaños, my birthday, es el 20 de abril. So, Cara, when's my birthday?
The 20th of April.
Muy bien. ¿Y cuándo es tu cumpleaños?
Mi cumpleaños es el 5 de noviembre.
Muy bien, el 5 de noviembre. And that's all for today.
Coffee Break Español.
Bueno, ¿qué tal hoy? ¿Todo bien? Did you understand all of that?
Learning numbers is fairly straightforward. Try to use every opportunity to practice your numbers. If you're walking about in town and notice a number on a poster, then try to work out how you would say it in Spanish.
Or if you're sitting on a train or on a bus on the way to work, you could try to work out what your friends' phone numbers are in Espanol.
In this week's bonus podcast, which is available to our premium subscribers, you can test yourself on your knowledge of numbers. There are interactive quizzes for you to see how much you can remember about what you've learned.
There's also our PDF guide with bonus vocabulary.
Bueno, ya está, otro podcast. We'll be back next week with more Coffee Break Spanish when we'll be trying to find our way around the town and giving simple directions.
Until then, adiós y gracias.
Adiós y hasta la semana que viene.
If you're learning Spanish with Coffee Break Spanish, don't forget that you can get much more out of your Coffee Break Spanish experience by becoming a premium member. You can sign up for a bronze, silver, gold or platinum membership, and, depending on which membership you go for, you can get access to lesson guides explaining all the vocabulary and language points covered, transcripts of all dialogues included in our lessons, enhanced podcasts which provide synchronized flashcards for use on iPods and iPhones, extra listening materials in the form of top-up podcasts, and for Platinum members, there are word lists for each group of lessons, worksheets and answer keys, access to abridged versions of the show to speed up your learning, and comprehensive Coffee Break Spanish dictionaries. Full details, including pricing, are available at mycoffeebreakspanish.com.
Coffee Break Español.
This podcast was brought to you by the Radiolingua Network. Find out more at www.radiolingua.com.